Jindrak was sent into Robert Briscoe. The referee went down.
They're all
Jindrak
three
flew
down.
backwards and Ray Steele went down. Now
Yes.
3 men struggling, trying to regain their footing. Ray Steele seems to be the closest. Jindrak's got his eye on him, but Robert Briscoe is motionless.
Wait, what is this?
What the hell? That's Mike Sanders.
With a referee's shirt on? What's
Is that
going
a
on?
referee's shirt, or did he just break out of the county jail? This cannot happen. Mike Sanders is not a referee. He's stolen somebody's shirt. Jindrak. Oh, my God. Pearl River plunge. 1, 2, 3, but then wait
Wait a minute. Patrick Black, the commissioner's out.
Commissioner Patrick Black. Mike Sanders is not a referee, but he counted to 3. The referee that is official was unconscious. Patrick Black is in Sanders'
Jindrak
lead.
thinks he's won this thing. Look at him. He's holding his hands up.
Wait a minute. Briscoe's waving it off, but Sanders made a 3 count. Jindrak thinks he's the new champion. Ray Steele. Wait a minute. Steele.
Hit him with a steel cutter.
Steel cutter there. Briscoe's making a count. There's
Wait a
3.
minute.
The licensed official has made the count. Patrick Black, wait a minute now. Patrick Black telling Briscoe that he shouldn't have done something. Black and Sanders were having a conversation on the outside. Jindrak thinks he's won. Ray Steele thinks he's won. We had 2 3 counts from 2 different officials. The commissioner is ticked off. What the hell's going on here?
I'm not sure.
You just saw the tape from last week. 2 wrestlers believing they had won the title. 2 referees thinking they had told the 3 count. And yes, we're told that Mike Sanders has a referee's license and a very confused commissioner on the scene. Hello, I'm your host, Les Thatcher. Doing color with me today, Brock Guttman. Later, we hope to clear up the heavyweight title picture. Both Patrick Black and Mike Sanders say they have some big surprises for us. Also on today's show, Venis returns to team with Steve Bradley. Cruiserweight champ Jamie Knoble back in action, along with Pepper Parks, Elix Skipper, and more. Now let's go to the ring for our first contest.
Introducing first, in the ring, from Cincinnati, Ohio, B.J. Witmer. And his opponent.
And the music is for the young man out of Texas, Lance Cade, the one they keep comparing to the young Barry Windham. He's out looking for a win tonight with a very tough B.J. Witmer.
Coming to the ring, from San Antonio, Texas, Lance Cade.
Ray Ramsey, your referee, and as I mentioned on Color Night, Brock Guttman. Brock, welcome aboard.
Thank you very much, Les. This is going to be an extremely good matchup, I believe, between 2 young competitors here.
Yes, of course, the 20-year-old Lance Cade is growing as a wrestler every time he steps into the ring. Wins aren't the important thing for him right now. It's gaining experience and adding a little more muscle mass to his frame. No doubt he is one of the future stars in the WWF.
Well, don't forget, too, B.J. Witmer is putting together a good combination of speed, size to help him along with the way in his young career. B.J. already has a tour of Japan under his belt, and he moves well in the air, but he tends to take all the shortcuts he can get the job done. And, you know, by the way, Les, B.J. is listed in the current PWA 500, as are most everyone of the wrestlers on tonight's card.
And, you know, that is great. The PWI 500 is out on your local newsstand, and 25 of the wrestlers on the HWA roster are listed there. We're very proud of that particular accomplishment. And, of course, Brock Guttman, the confusion with the heavyweight title, you saw that yourself last week. Later on, we'll be hearing from Commissioner Patrick Black, and I'm sure we'll be hearing from Mike Sanders, but we should be able to clear this situation up.
And both say that I keep hearing surprises, Les. We got surprises here tonight. I mean, I've been walking around backstage trying to figure out what these surprises are. You know, all I could see was Phil the janitor. I don't think he's one of the surprises.
I don't think so. But, you know, it seems like Patrick Black and Mike Sanders are in this one-upsman thing and always trying to top one another. So let's see if that continues on today's program.
B.J. Witmer thinking he got a 3 count on that.
We'd like to mention that HWA returns to Batavia, Ohio, the Red Barn Flea Market, Saturday, October the 27th, 7:30 p.m. with a great lineup. And a Halloween bash Wednesday, the 31st, coming to Kentucky at Jillian's Warehouse. There'll be a costume contest that night, and SmackDown is the night before in Cincinnati. Bring your SmackDown ticket, get a $2 discount at the door. Witmer trying for the pin here on Lance Cade. Cade gets the shoulders up. Witmer gets the 2 count. B.J. Witmer giving away a little size here with Cade, but holding his own. Right now, Witmer choking Lance Cade down on the ropes.
I think it's one of the shortcuts we talked about, Les, about the way that BJ takes.
Absolutely, but he's not staying on Cade. I think if I'd got him to this point, I'd be right on top of him. Ray Ramsey making the count, gets the 4 count, and Witmer almost getting a DQ there. Right now, the wind out of Lance Cade. Cade trying to get back into this, but it's all Witmer on the offense. Clothesline by BJ and Brock. It looks like BJ may be getting close to scoring a victory here on HWA television.
Real close. BJ is really coming out of the gate real aggressive tonight, Les. I don't know what's going on with BJ Witmer.
Witmer with the arm whip. Cade ducks the elbow, flying cross body. Let's see if he gets him here. 2 count, Witmer out. Right back up both these young men wanting to score that big fall. Look at the jabs. Cade good with those jabs, sets his man up, arm whips him cross ring. Witmer hooks the ropes. A haul through that super kick. Witmer blocked it, ducks the clothesline, suplex, tries to get the pin, but Cade went over with such force it actually went over onto his stomach. Witmer gets a 2 count, however. And how many 2 counts have we seen in this match? Talk about great competition. We've got it here on HWA TV.
If he hits that, I think it's going to be all over, Les. If he hits this, it's going to be all done. Well, okay, it's not all done yet, Les.
No, it's not. As Lance Cade rolls out of the way, Witmer stunned as he hits head first onto that canvas. Both men coming up slowly now. Let's see which one is going to be up first. Obviously, that'll be the man to get the advantage. There again with the jabs. Cade goes to those jabs quite often. Loops that right hand in there. Where's he going from here? Shoots Witmer cross ring. Takes him high for the backdrop. Cade sets him up, shoots him into the corner. Cade with that forearm driving all 240-plus pounds into the side of the head of BJ Witmer. Oh, Cade slipped off. Witmer went down anyway with just the whiplash effect. 2 count. BJ kicks out.
Cade didn't get all of that bulldog that he was trying to get up off the top rope, and BJ Witmer still has some left in him.
Here comes, he ducks that super kick. Throws a kick to the midsection. Witmer arm whips him in. What's he got going for him here? Cade ducks the clothesline. There's that super kick. Finally connects on it. And he gets a 3 count. Whoa, what a contest to open the show. Lance Cade with a super kick and the body press. Gets the 3 count over BJ Witmer. And we'll be back with Shark Boy and Elix Skipper right after these commercial messages.
Are you tired of pro wrestling news that just turns out to be bogus? Well, get the real scoop from a couple of insiders, Sean Stenham and Willie F. It's the Wrestling Guys. Wednesday nights at 6.
All right, in the ring, one of the most popular cruiserweights in the HWA, Shark Boy. Let's go for the introductions.
Introducing first, in the ring, from 20,000 leagues under the sea, representing the HWA, Shark Boy! And his opponent.
Y'all just know who built this house. Primetime Big, Primetime Big. Show me the speed and watch.
Right, and that's for Prime Time. Elix Skipper, he's accompanied to the ring by his tag team partner, Kid Romeo. Skipper back from a knee injury and looking good. Let's see how it fares.
Coming to the ring, from Strong Island, New York, one half of the WCW Cruiserweight Tag Team Champions, representing WCW Primetime, Elix Skipper!
The E-Man, Elix Skipper, Primetime with partner Kid Romeo out against Shark Boy. Should be quite a competition here, Brock.
Absolutely. Now, Skipper made a strong return last week from his knee injury, only to lose on a DQ to Matt Stryker. Elix has his tag team partner, Kid Romeo, in his corner today, and you have to believe that Romeo is there for more than just moral support.
Yeah, I would have to believe that. Jim Cornette and I established last week, these guys like to travel in pairs and usually help each other out. It's quite a buddy system, and it has fared them well in this fight between HWA and the WCW factions.
Well, there is strength in numbers, Les.
Yes. Oh, look at there. Nice handspring over the top. Skipper catches him, drops him with a nice slam. That knee does not seem to be bothering Elix Skipper today. Oh,
might bother him a little bit now.
His glutes might be bothering him. Shark Boy in with a patented bite, and Skipper heading for the high timber.
You know, Shark Boy's in a unique position every time he faces one of these WCW cruiserweights. He's trained with most of them for, 2 years ago at the power plant. He's very familiar with their styles, but they also have the book on him, and this should make up for some interesting matches.
Yes, it certainly should. And of course, speaking of top flight cruiserweights, your top flight contender, Pepper Parks, is in action today against the current cruiserweight kingpin, Jamie Knoble.
That's right. Jamie Noble's been hiding behind Mike Sanders. He's been hiding almost behind everybody in WCW. In fact, I think I saw him hide behind a pop can at one point. But tonight, Pepper Parks gets his time in the ring with him.
Right now, Elix Skipper having his way with Shark Boy. Skipper loops the right hand in, shoots those forearms in. Good job. And an elbow. Shark Boy staggered by this one. Skipper looking for his first win on the TV, as you mentioned, losing by disqualification last week against Matt Stryker. But I think more importantly, he was trying to put Stryker out, keep Stryker away from Jamie Knoble. The commissioner, Patrick Black, has given Knoble an extension on the time he has to defend that title against the former champion, Matt Stryker. That should be up in a couple weeks, and we should see some interesting cruiserweight title matchups. Going for the sunset flip is Shark Boy. The fish may have him. No. Skipper out on the 2 count. Shark blocks the right hand, throws the right of his own, and another one. Skipper of the block. Oh, going for what's he going for? Hey.
Ow. It's like taking a fish out of water.
Yeah, it certainly did. Let's see if Elix can get him here. 2 count. Shark Boy kicks out. Referee Joe Lopez. Shark puts a stop to him. Let's see if Shark Boy can mount an offense to get a win here. Skipper groggy and staggered. Shark takes him into that turnbuckle, climbs the rope, starts throwing the punches. Wait a minute. Kid Romeo up. Romeo gets nailed, but Shark, in the meantime, is hooked by Elix Skipper. Shark over the top, takes the boot, lays it to Skipper. He's going for these deep, the Dead Sea drop, excuse me.
He nailed it too. That should be it.
Wait a minute. Kid Romeo pulls the referee out. What is this about? Shades of Mike Sanders here.
Oh. Shark Boy taking the law into his own hands, dispersing of Kid Romeo.
Let's see what happens now. Skipper catches Shark with a boot as he comes back in. Although Shark Boy was able to get one up on Romeo, he also opened up for Skipper, who hooks him and beats him with a prime-time move.
Kid Romeo was able to take just enough time away, have Shark Boy get away from Elix Skipper for just enough time so that Elix Skipper could get the win.
There you are, have it, your winner, Elix Skipper over Shark Boy. And when we come back, we will be talking to Commissioner Patrick Black and Mike Sanders to try to get this heavyweight title picture straightened out. We'll be right back.
It's been called the biggest professional wrestling show of the year, and now you can own it on HWA Home Video. The best of the Brian...
Patrick Black, we have you here. I know you have a big announcement to make as far as the HWA Heavyweight Championship, and I know you want to do that right now. You've had a long week to decide. What is your decision?
Well, quite frankly, over the past week, a lot of things have been...
Looks like we're going to be joined here by Mike Sanders, Mark Jindrak, and Reno. Now, I know the decision is about ready to be made by you, Patrick Black. I mean, I don't want this interference from WCW to take away from your decision.
Mike Sanders, you know, I can respect the fact that you have a wrestling license, a managing license. And yes, you do have a ref license. So therefore, your decision in last week's main event is final. However, the HWA officials' decision also is final.
Well, what's the decision?
1 second, Brock. WCW has a lot of money, and I understand throughout the week they've been threatening lawsuits so that WCW can get put over like $1 million. However, starting on TV next week will be an HWA Heavyweight title tournament for the vacated HWA Heavyweight Championship.
Well, Mike Sanders, there you are. It may not be exactly what you wanted, but there's a tournament going on next week.
Let me tell you something, Patrick Black. That's exactly what WCW needs, because I got a lot of guys in WCW Alliance that wants a shot at that heavyweight title, and it looks like the odds are definitely in our favor.
You know, you are very, very cocky, Mike Sanders. But you know, you really shouldn't gloat, because I've also raised the bar for this tournament. This past week, the first ever HWA Heavyweight Champion called me up at the HWA office. I explained him the situation, and he flew down here tonight to put his name on a contract for the HWA Heavyweight Championship. In fact, he is former WWF European Champion, Uptown D-Lo Brown. And, Mike, I'm right here, Mike. Pay attention to me. And I've also acquired the services of another WWF superstar. In fact, he could be considered one of the greatest martial arts experts in the world. WWF Hardcore Champion, the Lethal Weapon, Steve Blackman. In fact, let's bring them both out right now.
They're here right now?
They're here.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the ring, D-Lo Brown and Steve Blackman. Gentlemen, welcome to the HWA. Do you have any words about the tournament coming up?
You see, first and foremost, I'm here because I represent the World Wrestling Federation. And the fact of the matter is this, being the first, and I might add, the only undefeated HWA Heavyweight Champ there has ever been, I'm here tonight to officially announce that I'm entering in that tournament next week. Now, secondly, you boys from WCW are running roughshod around the HWA, trying to wreck shop. Well, to me, WCW stands for We Are Completely Worthless. So you see, guys like myself and the Lethal Weapon Steve Blackman, we're going to do everything we can to run your punk asses right back down to Atlanta.
You know, no one expected to see Lethal Weapon in the house tonight, but here I am! You know, it doesn't matter how this thing got started, because we're here to stop it. Now, let this sink into that little head of yours once and for all. The next time you see us coming, we're going to be swinging. So you better lace your shoes up, because we're going to take your heads off.
Well, Mike Sanders, from my vantage point, it looks like the cards are stacked a little against you at this point.
You gotta be kidding me. Steve Blackman, D-Lo Brown? You gotta be kidding me. You think I didn't know about this? You think Shane O'Mac, Stephanie didn't call above average Mike Sanders and let me in on HWA's big secret? You know, Patrick Black talks about raising the bar. Well, I've got two guys myself that shut the damn bar down. I got two guys. I got two hard-hitting WCW guys. You know him? as Haku and Brian Adams. Now, Guttman, Brian Adams. How you doing, Mike? I know what's on the minds of each and every one of you at this moment. What in the wide, wide world of sports are two megastars like Haku and Brian Adams doing in, well, for lack of a better word, a rat hole such as this? Allow me to explain. This should demonstrate the magnitude of the situation. That's right. HWA is the reason we're here. You see, the HWA is the #1 breeding ground for the World Wrestling Federation future superstars. So our job is simple. We come in, we eliminate the problem while it's still a cancer before it spreads. Now, we'd love to take each and every one of these HWA future superstars, beat them up with pipes, crowbars, and send them all to the hospital from outside the parking lot. But there are laws in this country, and there are even guidelines in professional wrestling. So we will deal with a situation right in the middle of this ring. Say, blow a knee out, separate a shoulder, crack a vertebrae, whatever it takes. So when these guys do get the call to go to the WWF, they'll be about as worthless as an old mule going to the Kentucky Derby. Now, Mike, me and Haku, as you can see, have dressed up to send our message out tonight firsthand. We want some serious competition, and I know you can provide that for us.
Brian Adams, it's like this. I've already talked to Patrick Black. I'm going to find you two of the top HWA guys in this ring tag team match tonight. Top HWA guys. Top guys. Big fellas. Which brings me to another top guy, Mark Jindrak. Mark, I got to give it to you. Slim waist, pretty face, you got all the attributes of a phenomenal athlete, but last week, you dropped the ball. Last week in the match against Ray Steele, you showed compassion. You showed kindness and you showed weakness. WCW lives by one creed, and that's by any means necessary. But I'm going to let bygones be bygones. We're going to start fresh next week, and we're going to give you another chance.
Wait a minute, Brock.
You cannot show weakness, Mark Jindrak. You cannot show compassion.
The tongue and death grip is put on Mark Jindrak, and apparently he has fallen out of favor of the WCW faction. Because right now, Brian Adams, Haku, and Reno are putting the boots to Mark Jindrak. Mike Sanders has joined in, and I would say, for all due intent and purposes, Mark Jindrak's tenure with the WCW Team Invasion is all but over. And you talk about raising the bar, D-Lo Brown, Steve Blackman, and now Haku and Brian Chronic Adams. Are you kidding me? We have, my God, we've got a battle on our hands. HWA versus WCW. And we'll be back with more exciting wrestling action right after this.
Where should you turn to find the best information on the HWA? Go to hwaonline.com. Is the HWA coming to a town near you? The events page will give you the dates, times, and directions you need to see the HWA.
We're back and ready for action. And of course, wow, in that last segment, we saw just how much this invasion has heated up. But right now, we've got Val Venis and Steve Bradley in the ring. Let's go for the introduction.
Introducing first, in the ring, hailing from Las Vegas, Nevada, and the Combat Zone in downtown Boston, Massachusetts, the WWF smoothest, Val Venis, and the baddest mofo on the show, Who's Your Daddy, Steve Bradley, and their opponents.
Right, and there's the invasion music for Team WCW. And out of that dressing room should be coming Easy Money and Lash LeRoux, so we've got quite a competition on our hands.
Coming to the ring, hailing from the LeRoux Bayou in Lafayette, Louisiana, and Atlantic City, New Jersey, representing WCW, the Raging Cajun, Lash LeRoux, and Easy Money!
Lash LeRoux, Easy Money against Steve Bradley and Val Venis. As we mentioned, quite a competition. And I also mentioned that last segment, Brock Guttman, we saw just how this battle has heated up between WCW and HWA. WCW's pulled out all the stops to try and shut down the HWA wrestlers. And they've added two powerhouses to their team in Haku and Adams. But make no mistake, HWA's bringing D-Lo Brown and Steve Blackman has raised the bar, as Commissioner Black had stated, and should be an exciting upcoming weeks.
I just don't know how much more each side can add to the caliber of wrestlers that they have already on their rosters.
It certainly is exciting. The one thing we do want to mention that starting next week, as Patrick Black said, there will be a tournament for the following 4 weeks on television. And that tournament will be finalized, and listen up, Dayton, Ohio fans, Wednesday, November the 14th, 7:30 p.m. HWA comes to the Montgomery County Fairgrounds Coliseum in Dayton, Ohio, with a super card featuring the semifinal and final rounds of the heavyweight title tournament. Right now, Steve Bradley trying to get the pin on Lash LeRoux. LeRoux kicks out, but Bradley in the driver's seat. Last week, we saw a great team combination in Bradley and Val Venis. Let's see how they fare this week, Brock.
Yeah, but don't count out Easy Money and Lash LeRoux, because both of them can work either side of the street, wrestling or brawling. It makes no difference to them. Money likes to get real fancy out there, but Lash is just a very basic meat and potatoes type grappler. They can give Venis and Bradley all that they can handle.
Right now, Venis looping those right hands into Lash LeRoux. Val now with the boots, and LeRoux on defense. And so far, we've seen the tagging between Bradley and Venis. And right now, Lash needs to make that tag and get his partner Easy Money in there, because he's fresh. Coming up after this match in our next segment, you'll see Hangin with Matt Stryker. Of course, Stryker out to regain his cruiserweight title from current champion Jamie Knoble. Venis with those knees. Val likes to work that knee that way off the ropes with the arm whips. Russian leg sweep. Oh, he's going to tie him up. Nothing moving but his eyeballs. Easy Money moves in and kicks him off for the save. Right now, Venis moving up and back on offense as he sets Lash up with the arm whip. Lash reverses it. Money on the outside. Dumps Val to the canvas, and it looks like Team WCW might, as I started to say on offense, but Brock, that doesn't seem to be the case.
Nope. Val Venis has still too much in his arsenal for, well, maybe I spoke a little bit too soon, Les.
Easy Money in on the tag. Goes to the neck breaker. Really get the pin here. 2 count. Val kicks out. Money on the move now. Here's a man, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Heavyweight size, cruiserweight moves. Easy Money, a tough man to defense, Brock.
He is, and Val Venis is having a hard time trying to defense. And Val Venis at this point just needs a tag, and Steve Bradley, who's patiently waiting on the side. He's all fired up and ready to come in, Les.
Wait a minute, Lash makes the tag. They're doubling up momentarily. Referee David Hopp starts his count. Boot to the midsection by LeRoux. DDT on Val Venis. Lash trying for the pin. Val gets the shoulder up. And right now, this has been back and forth here, it seems like, Brock. And actually, LeRoux and Money are giving these guys all they want.
They are, and WCW can get a win over WWF superstar Val Venis. You know what that's going to do to their egos at this point, Les?
Yes, I certainly do. Let's hope it doesn't happen, Brock. Val may get the pin in here. No, LeRoux kicks out. We have been handed a schedule for the heavyweight title tournament from Commissioner Patrick Blackman. Once again, it will be here on TV the next 4 weeks. 2 matches a week for the next 3, and then the quarterfinals 3 matches will be on the 4th week. The finals, as we said, Dayton, Ohio, Wednesday, November the 14th, Montgomery County Fairgrounds Coliseum. And you'll be seeing all the stars of the HWA there. There will be drawings for the pairings. And as we mentioned, next week on this show, the first 2 matches in the first round of the heavyweight title tournament. Nice move by Venis as he dumps Easy Money with that suplex. Both men down now. The fans are into this one, cheering for Val Venis. Tag goes to Steve Bradley, and LeRoux catches the tag as well. And Who's Your Daddy is on the run. Steve Bradley arm whips LeRoux in, takes him high for the backdrop. Yes. Great tag team competition right here on HWA Wrestling, Brock.
Yes, it is. Oh, Steve Bradley got caught there. Oh, DDT from Lash LeRoux. Wait a minute.
Venis dumps Easy
Steve
Money
Bradley's
over
not the
top.
legal man. I think Lash thinks it's Steve Bradley's the legal man.
The legal man
there's
is
the legal
right
man.
there. Teamwork. Spine buster. Bradley teaming up with his partner real well. Easy Money pulls him out there in the battle on the outside. But Val hits the money shot and a 3 count. Val Venis and Steve Bradley team up to win over the combination of Easy Money and Lash LeRoux here on HWA Wrestling. And we will be back after these commercial messages with our Hangin' With segment. The feature this week, Matt Stryker. We'll be right back. Our Hanging With segment today is with former HWA Cruiserweight champion Matt Stryker. Matt is from the Milford subdivision of the greater Cincinnati area. He came to us at HWA a little over 3.5 years ago. And of course, when you showed up, Matt, you told me you're a former police officer. One of your hobbies was bungee jumping. You'd raced motorcycles, even skydiving. So you were trying a lot of high-risk things, and I guess apparently thought professional wrestling was the next alternative.
Yeah, these were all ways of expressing myself, and when I came in and sat down and talked with you, you told me that this business was all about expressing yourself and, you know, just the different magnitudes of doing that, and I thought this would be a perfect fit for me.
And so 3.5 years later, you've come a long way. You've had some dark matches in WWF. You've held the HWA Cruiserweight title on 3 different occasions, I believe. And so obviously, the next big step for you is trying to acquire a WWF developmental contract.
Oh yeah, that's my goal. That was my goal the first day I came to see you. Now it just seems like it's closer than ever to something like that happening. To be able to sit home and just think about wrestling, eating and working out would be great.
Tell me, you know, something we don't talk about in this segment a lot is 3.5 years ago, if you were going to a big wrestling show, you were buying a ticket. And in the last year and a half, you've had an opportunity to wrestle against guys, be in the ring and work against guys who you used to buy tickets to see. How was the transition? How did you feel with that?
I remember the first time that I did that. I was scared out of my mind. I can remember sitting there, seeing my opponent walk up, and just being jittery as could be. I was scared out of my mind, and now I'm a little more comfortable with it. But it's a huge thrill just to get in the ring with any of those guys.
Of course, now with the WCW involvement in HWA, with the HWA being in WWF developmental territory, you're having an opportunity to wrestle on a regular basis against many of the talents that were, have been stars in WCW and WWF. Do you feel that this has been a very good learning experience for you?
This has been the best learning experience I've had yet. To be able to hone my skills against guys who have been there and who are 10 times better than I am, and or where I want to be at now, that's a great thrill.
One of the things I told Matt when he first started training at our place was to stop the bungee jumping, to stop the motorcycle racing, to stop the skydiving, because he's going to end up killing himself before he ever got a chance to be a professional wrestling. So basically, I took away a lot of your excitement in your life. What are you doing for hobbies these days?
Believe it or not, I sit home a lot with my family, and I'm actually kind of glad that you talked me out of doing a lot of those things. The farthest I go now is maybe playing a recreational game of softball, but I don't get injured anymore, and that's the great thing, and I can focus all my energy and all my drive on wrestling.
Parallel, being a police officer, being a professional wrestler. Obviously, it's obviously more dangerous in many ways, but it's also something that takes a lot of thinking on your feet, a lot of thinking on the move.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if something goes wrong, you've got to be able to react, just like that. And it's the same in the wrestling ring. You've got to be able to react at a moment's notice.
One final thing, of course, with the big invasion, WCW coming into the HWA and the WWF developmental wrestlers, Jamie Noble's taken that cruiserweight title, and I know the big thing for you is to get it back. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's when I get my opportunity to get it back. You're going to see that belt go back around my waist, and it doesn't matter if Jamie puts Elix Skipper in front of me to try to break my knee, or Jamie Noble in front of me to try to break my arm, or Lash, LeRoux to try to take some ribs out. It doesn't matter. You can break every bone in my body, but you're not going to break my spirit. I will get my belt back.
And there you have it. That's our Hangin' With segment with Matt Stryker for today.
It's been called the biggest professional wrestling show of the year, and now you can own it on HWA Home Video. The best of the Brian Pillman Memorial.
We're back and ready for action. Let's go to the ring.
Seems that WCW and HWA are bringing out all the arsenals. But a wise general once said to his boys after they had just lost a defeat that was only the battle. The war continues. So you know what? Every time WCW that you knock us down, we get right back up. Every time that you pin us, we come back the next week with just that much more intestinal fortitude. And Jamie Noble, I know that Matt Stryker wants to get a little piece of you, but Pepper Parks also would like to have some time in the ring with you, which he's going to get right now. Just remember, you are going to be in the ring with a pop cultural phenomenon that transcends the sport of pro wrestling. He is the czar of high-class kick-ass, and a man so dangerous, he has to wear pigtails, Pepper Parks.
And his opponent.
And his opponent, the current Cruiserweight champion.
And a good friend of mine.
Yeah, and a good friend of yours, Lash, LeRoux, with me on color, Jamie Noble, making his first appearance in several weeks here on our TV program, accompanied to the ring by his confidant and mentor, Mike Sanders.
Coming to the ring, hailing from West Milburn, Florida, representing WCW, he's the HWA Cruiserweight Champion, Jamie Noble.
Jamie Noble out against Pepper Parks, and Noble has given a 2-week extension on his having to defend the title against Matt Stryker, but Commissioner Black is making him wrestle, and he will have to defend that belt by mid-November or be in trouble. As I said, Lash, LeRoux with me, joining me on color. Lash, your thoughts on this competition.
Les, I'm telling you, this Jamie Knoble is a great competitor. He's been a great champion. He showed great poise and great technical ability, winning the belt in the first place. He needs till mid-November to really train hard and do what needs to be done. Now, this Mike Sanders, I'm telling you, is this guy a proven leader or what, Les?
Oh, a proven leader? I'm not. He's an instigator. He's a proven at that, I'm sure. We know Pepper Parks is a top cruiserweight. He's held the HWA cruiserweight crown, and he'll give Knoble all he can handle here.
Now, I'm telling you, this Pepper Parks, he is the epitome of fruit bootiness. But I have to say, he did prove his ability, not only being a former HWA cruiserweight champion, as you said, Les, but also squeaking in on the top 500 wrestlers in the world. You do have to give the man that.
Well,
Pro Wrestling Illustrated right there said it themselves. One of the top wrestlers in the world.
Number 500, right?
A sweet shot in there.
You know, Brock Guttman, unlike Sanders, is no athlete.
Not only that, but he's not the proven leader that Mike Sanders is.
Well,
either.
he's clever, though. And he can come up with as many sneaky ways to beat you as Sanders can, I'll say that.
Not only that, but Pepper Parks coming up with a unique way to beat somebody with that head scissors there. Jamie Knoble needs to get his act together here. Now, I know he's capable of doing a lot more than he's doing right now in that corner.
Knoble comes out, shoots that punch, but Pepper ducks it, loops his own right hands in there. Pepper off the rope, but Knoble.
And that's the aggressiveness I'm talking about. Yes. That's the aggressiveness that's brought Jamie Knoble where he is right now, and that's why he's the champion.
Well, speak to me about this. Yourself included, along with Elix Skipper and a couple other guys, have virtually tried to take Matt Stryker out. Not defeat him, not pin his shoulders, but take him out to keep him away from your champion. Talk to me about that, Les.
But of course, Les, I mean, of course we're trying to take the man out. He's one of HWA's top competitors, Matt Stryker is. So not only are we trying to take him out, we're also trying to take out every other HWA competitor. But I will admit, probably the biggest threat to this crown that Jamie Knoble has right now around his waist is Matt Stryker. And I think it's our job as fellow WCW invasioners to make sure that Matt Stryker doesn't take that belt back.
Well, one of the things for sure is Stryker pinned Knoble in a tag team match right here about 4 weeks ago. And that's when Knoble disappeared mysteriously. They asked for an extension on his title defense, and I could go on, but I still think it's kind of fishy.
I think that's a smart champion, Les. Well, just like he's kicking out right now. He knows where he is in the ring. He knows what needs to be done. He had to kick out there. He knows when it's time to get his act together and retrain and put his game plan back together so that he can defeat Matt Stryker.
One of the things I do want to mention, coming up in our main event tonight, we saw them introduced earlier, Haku and Brian Adams will be facing what Mike Sanders says will be two of the top HWA wrestlers. I'm not aware who it is yet. We will have to wait and see.
What did I tell you? He's a proven leader of what? Mike Sanders bringing in the big guns to make sure that when WCW steps up to the plate against HWA, we're going to slap a home run.
Whoa,
what are they doing here, going up to the top?
Knoble sets him up. Where's he going? Throws a couple right hands.
Oh, I've seen Knoble do this a million times. What a great move. Look at the power of Jamie Knoble. Deceiving power for a man that size to be able to perform a maneuver like that off the top rope. Oh, my God, I can't believe he kicked out.
Wait a minute. Matt Stryker's out.
What is he doing at ringside, Les? Come on. He's not a manager.
It appears to me the Stryker's on a Knoble-type rant at ringside.
He has no business out here. If he goes in the match, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Look at the poise, knowing where he's at in the ring.
Hanging on to the tights, but Parks kicks out. Parks, the schoolboy,
and
he gets a 3 count.
Yes, he can't do this. He can't do this. That Matt Stryker shouldn't have been out here in the first place. He's been robbed.
He just pulled what Knoble has pulled himself, and I can't say.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Lash.
Knoble's a proven competitor, great champion. He would never stoop to these levels.
In a non-title bout, Pepper Parks, your winner over Jamie Knoble with a verbal assist from Matt Stryker. We'll be back to see Haku and Brian Adams in action right after this.
Are you tired of pro wrestling news that just turns out to be bogus? Well, get the real scoop from a couple of insiders, Sean Stedham and Willie F. It's the Wrestling Guys. Wednesday nights at 6, tune in to the Wrestling Guys on 9:10 a.m. WPFB for all the latest news from inside the pro wrestling business. Or catch the Rebel Ringside.
All right, in the ring, Haku and Brian Adams. Let's go for the introduction.
In
Introducing first, in the ring, hailing from Kona, Hawaii, and the Kingdom of Tonga, representing WCW, Brian Adams and Haku.
What about these two monsters, Les Thatcher?
And their opponents.
Now, who are we going to see here? Because Sanderson's is HWA superstars, and who would those HWA superstars be? I'm waiting to see.
I'm sure it can only be the top talent in HWA, Les Thatcher.
Wait a minute. I recognize Gotti.
See? I recognize this other guy. He's been a multi-time HWA champion.
I don't know who the guy in the mask.
Coming to the ring, practicing on parts unknown in Raleigh, North Carolina, medic number 8, and the other dark meat, Gotti.
See what I tell you, Les Thatcher, a top competitor, medic number 8. Medic
number 8?
I know him. Yes, I've seen this guy long.
Are you kidding me?
No, he's been in the business
I'm
for
curious
years.
if Haku and Brian Adams will end up in this heavyweight title tournament. Once again, that tournament will run for 1 month, 4 weeks on our television program. The finals will be at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds Coliseum in Dayton, Ohio, Wednesday, November the 14th. And right now,
yes, sir. Look at the power.
Brian Adams lifts medic number whatever.
What a power. He's going to need some medication after this match. Look at Brian Adams showing a great power. Not only they may be in this title tournament, Les Thatcher, but who else could we maybe bring in from WCW? Talk about bringing in the ringers for the tournament.
Can you believe this Haku now? Putting the boots to the mask man, Medic 8, Medic 1, Medic 101. Doesn't matter. These guys are outmanned, outsized, and outpowered. Gotti in. Haku does the clothesline and the
what
boot
a big
drops.
boot. What's that, a size 15, Les?
I'm not sure, but when Haku's throwing them, they feel like gunboats hitting you, I'll tell you that.
No kidding, those meat hook hands on the back of his neck. Gotti's going to be feeling this one for months to come. Les, all I can say is I'm glad these guys are on our team.
That's it.
That'll stop your heart.
I don't know what to say. There's no offense for these guys. Haku and Brian Adams have got it all their way.
But make no bones about it, Les Thatcher. These are two of HWA's top competitors. These guys are superstars in their own right.
Stunned momentarily. There it is.
And there it is.
The Tongan death grip, and down goes Gotti.
Nobody
the
gets up
masked man in. Brian Adams goes to work on him. It's all over. Haku with a Tongan death grip puts Gotti away. Adams throwing the boots.
This medic
man, and the referee's down. Haku puts him down. Who's going to stop these two? The WCW enforcer. Wait a minute.
What is
D-Lo Brown, Steve Blackman, Ray Steele, Val Venis, Steve Bradley.
Where's security at, Les Thatcher?
And we've got a standoff. Look at here. Look at here. Adams and Haku.
They shouldn't be in the ring, especially not this Steve Blackman and this Val Venis.
Well, they're there.
They're lucky they just escaped our match we had earlier with just a few.
It has all heated up, Lash. The bar has been raised here today in the battle with HWA and WCW. On the scene, D-Lo Brown, Steve Blackman, Val Venis, Brian Adams, Haku, plus the other stars. Where's it going to end up? I don't know. But next week, we start the HWA Heavyweight Title Tournament. Join us then. Until that time, Les Thatcher saying so long, and thanks for being with us on HWA Wrestling.
Over and out.
Drew's got football fever.